The pick is in for the Pittsburgh Steelers round 2 selection. Pick number 51, second round, the Steelers select center Zach Frazier out of West Virginia. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they were in dire need of a center, and who would have thought that Zach Frazier would have fell to the Steelers at pick number 51? Well, I mocked them to the Pittsburgh Steelers in my final mock draft. Many people thought he wouldn't slide this far, but centers fell, and that favored the Pittsburgh Steelers hugely in this draft, because just a few picks ago, Jackson Powers Johnson was taken, meaning that everyone slid down a spot in terms of the center position, allowing Zach Frazier to end up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And now the Steelers, they pick another offensive line. They fill the position of need, selecting offense tackle Fasanu in round 1, and now they pick Zach Frazier, filling in the starting center role. The Steelers have continuously talked about how comfortable they were in this year's draft and not having to select players based off needs. They already said many times they're overly confident at the center position, and they had people on the roster who could play the position, but they would have had to move a guard, let's just say Nate Herbig, to the center spot if they did not draft a center who would be able to be a starter for them. But now they don't have to do that. Now they could plug and play Zach Frazier, and he could be the starting center moving forward. So it's all smokescreens in terms of what Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan was saying when addressing positions of needs, because now they fill 2 holes. But let's get right into it. Who is Zach Frazier? Well, he's coming out of West Virginia, and he stands at 6'2", 0.5 inches. He weighs 313 pounds. His arm length being 32 1/4 inches. His hand size being 10 7/8 inches. Just looking at his accomplishments throughout his career, he was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school, but he was also academic All Big 12 in 2022, alongside AP second team All Big 12 in 2022 as well. And Zach Frazier, he's going to be a plug and play center right away. Someone who will excel in a gap scheme as he offers the strength and leverage to move defenders in the run game. I mentioned this many times in my mock draft, because every mock draft I basically selected Zach Frazier going to the Steelers at this spot, 51. And I mentioned this many times. He has a wrestling background. So looking at his strengths based off the film and just in general, he has that grip strength, the pad level, and anchor to succeed at the next level. And those are his strengths. He knows how to use his body weight to his advantage to move defenders. His concerns, however, has been his lack of length in terms of arm length, hand size, and even just size in general. But some of his concerns as well is kind of his lateral mobility, but he's still quick on his feet if you look at his film. So West Virginia's Zach Frazier, he has been a stalwart alongside the interior of the Mountaineers' offense line at West Virginia ever since he stepped foot on the campus. He started as a true freshman at left guard, so he does have that positional flexibility that the Steelers love, but he did play center for sophomore and junior seasons, so he has that experience and is not just a player who's switching positions from guard to center. He played guard for 2 years, and he played center for 2 years as well. So he is a densely built center. Like I said, he is a low center of mass, and he's very good with his center of gravity. He's a former wrestler, like I said, and it certainly shows in his game because he's an excellent run blocker. He comes off the ball fast, so even though his lateral agility or quickness might be in question, he comes off the ball fast. As soon as he snaps it, he gets his pads low and his shoulders low to quickly gain the leverage on the defense linemen or edge defenders, whoever is lined up in front of him. Obviously, he's going against defensive tackles most of the time, but sometimes defensive ends in terms of who and what positions they're in. So he's an excellent hand use as well because of that wrestling background. And once he places his hand inside your chest plates, he has outstanding grip strength to control and kind of mirror and steer defenders into the direction that he wants them to go. Once Frazier contacts the defenders, the rep is usually over, and Frazier wins the rep. Frazier is just an outstanding average athlete in general because of his wrestling background and everything he does. He is outstanding in terms of how he's able to use his strength, but obviously in terms of moving downhill, getting to the second level, sometimes he does struggle to connect on moving targets when working at a second level in space. But he does kind of sometimes lack the leverage in terms of range laterally as well. But he is a player who could be a gap scheme and more than just a gap scheme, a zone scheme type of center as well. So even though Zach Frazier, he does have his concerns and his negatives, his positives outweigh the negatives, which make him a great center at the next level. He's physical and tough. And in the passing game, because I just talked about the running game and how he excels there, but the passing game, Frazier, he displays excellent intelligence and kind of awareness, and he can quickly kind of key and kind of diagnose stunts and be a captain in terms of calling out those plays and calling out the linebackers who are going to be blitzing. He's very good, and he seamlessly passes them over to the next person in line. His low center of gravity allows him to hold that anchor and kind of stall bull rushes, hold them, make them not be able to use their strength to their advantage because of that anchor wrestling background. His lack of arm length will kind of allow sometimes longer defenders to win if they get their hands in the chest plate and drive him back, but usually Frazier wins the rep because of that anchor that he does have. So overall, Frazier, he has starter level traits, and obviously the Steelers are going to need him to be a starter on day one. Yes, the Steelers have talked about Nate Herbig potentially playing the center position, but obviously they wouldn't want him to do so if they could get someone naturally a center to play the position. We've seen the Pittsburgh Steelers draft a center a couple years ago with Kendrick Green that did not work out in the third round because they're moving him from guard to center. So obviously they wouldn't want to move a guard like Nate Herbig to center, and they would just want a natural center. And that's what Zach Frazier is, a natural center. So the Pittsburgh Steelers got to fill a hole and a round one need in the first round of the draft, getting an offense tackle, and now they filled another need at center, filling all positions of the offense line. So left tackle should now be Broderick Jones. Left guard should now be Isaac Seumalo. Center should be Zach Frazier. Right guard is going to be James Daniels. And right tackle will be Troy Fautanu. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have now a complete rebuilt offense line. It'll still be interesting to see if Broderick Jones plays right tackle or Fautanu plays right tackle or left tackle. It's going to be interesting to see what they do there, but that's their offense linemen. Those are the 5 guys. They completely rebuild it, and now they have guys for Najee Harris to run. And they have someone to protect Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, whoever the quarterback is. Completely rebuilt the offense line in this year's draft. They still have other needs, but in their round 3 picks, they have 2 of them, so they're going to be selecting some other players. This isn't the end for me today, so I'll make a video on all the other players the Pittsburgh Steelers select today and tomorrow and moving forward as well. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on this pick and how you feel about Zach Frazier, a mauler, a wrestler, a physical, tough player, a starting center. Now for the Pittsburgh Steelers being the selection. Would you have selected someone else like A.D. Mitchell or a different position? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this pick in general. And also let me know who you want the Steelers to select with their next pick and what position you think they should go for there. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers draft coverage updates and news, breaking news, everything like that. I've covered all. I'll continue to cover all. So turn on notifications, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.